Hi guys, Amy here, also known as Hidden Treasure Picker here on YouTube. In case you're new to my channel, I'm a full-time online reseller selling mainly on eBay, and I also sell a little bit on Poshmark and Mercari as well. Today is Monday, November 14th, and I just wanted to do a what sold video for you guys to show you what sold for us over the weekend. We have 18 total things going out today, so let's go ahead and get into that. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and go over our weekend solds. I'm not going to do these in any particular order probably. I'll just kind of grab from my pile here and go over, you know, what the item was, what it sold for, what we paid for it. I'll also put comps on the screen to show you the sold comp from our sale. And just for your reference so that you can see that. Alright, let's get started. First, we have these little ankle boots. These are actually by Coach. They're nothing too special. They're just a basic leather boot. These I've actually had for a really long time. I bought these, I feel like, several years ago. Probably at like a Goodwill or something like that. I don't even remember exactly where I got them. I don't remember how much I paid for them. For whatever reason, even though they're Coach, which usually is a good brand, I'm sure you guys all have heard of Coach. I mean, usually, you know, I think they're more known for probably their purses and things like that. But they do have other items like shoes and things. I don't know if it's just because these weren't anything special. I mean, they're just plain, nothing special to them at all. But they've taken a really long time to sell. And typically when things take forever sitting in my store, I won't get rid of them. I won't redonate them. I've talked about this before, but in case you're new and haven't heard me talk about this, that's just my preference. I'd rather just wait for it to sell so that I'm at least making something off of it. So usually I'll keep marking it down, putting it on sale and putting it on a larger sale over time until it finally sells. And these were on sale, and then I also ended up finally just taking a best offer, which was even lower, a little bit lower than the current sales price. So these sold for $15. So not anything crazy, but like I said, I mean, there's nothing really special to these either. They're just a basic boot. And even though they are Coach, you know, for whatever reason, you know, they just took forever. All right, next. This is just a pair of Abercrombie & Fitch women's leggings. Again, nothing too special. I got these at a garage sale, I feel like a couple years ago, for probably like 50 cents to $1. Probably not something I'd pick up again. I don't pick up too much Abercrombie stuff. It really depends. I feel like some Abercrombie stuff can do better than others. These were just some basic women's leggings. So they weren't anything, you know, too special. Again, I'm pretty sure that they only cost me about 50 cents to $1 at a garage sale. I wouldn't have spent probably more than that on them. And I had marked them down a little bit too, and they finally sold for $8.97. So again, you know, nothing special and not a huge sale, but, you know, a sale's a sale. All right, next are these Duluth Trading Company cargo pants. Again, nothing too special. I don't know if you guys have heard of Duluth Trading Company. Here's the tag inside. I don't know if you guys can read that. Duluth Trading Company. Duluth Trading Company has a pretty good following. A lot of people really like their stuff. So I have been picking up a lot of Duluth stuff lately, and it's been doing pretty good for me. This was also kind of a bigger size. It was a 44 by 30, so, you know, not a really small size. That's a pretty decent men's size, which, you know, bigger sizes always do better. I've talked about that before too. Again, in case you haven't heard me talk about that, that's absolutely true for both men's clothing and women's clothing. Bigger sizes typically do better. They typically will sell a little bit quicker, and they'll typically sell for a little bit more. So these we paid $4 for at our local thrift store, and they sold for $26.97. All right. Next, we have this Nike Pro Combat. Just like a compression shirt, and it's got like the swingman on the front. So it's like a baseball. It's a Hyperwarm Lite fitted, dry fit compression shirt. So I've talked to you guys about this before. Also, Nike Pro and Nike Pro Combat tend to be the better versions of Nike to pick up. I've found that they typically do sell faster than just your typical regular Nike stuff. Again, depending, because, you know, not to say that nothing else Nike will sell, but it seems like the Nike Pro and Nike Pro Combat do sell quicker. And I think a lot of it is because a lot of their stuff is this compression clothing, which I'm not 100% sure typically, you know, what people use compression clothing for, if it's mainly for sports or if people use it just for like working out and stuff like that. I know a lot of it has to do with sports. Obviously, this is baseball themed, so I would assume this is, you know, for like playing baseball and things like that. Now, again, this doesn't necessarily sell for a lot. Most Nike Pro and Nike Pro Combat stuff I've sold hasn't gone for like a ton of money, but, you know, it typically sells fairly quickly. So this we bought for $3 at our local thrift store, and it sold for $15. And I mean, I feel like I've probably only had this listed maybe a month tops. I don't even know if it's quite been that long. So that's pretty quick sale. All right. This next sale was actually a sale on Poshmark. This was a Banana Republic men's shirt, a full zip shirt, nice sweater. Again, this is something I bought at a thrift store quite a while back. I think it took me a while to get it listed. I don't remember how much I paid for it. I don't remember if I would have paid like $3 or $4 for it, or if I only got it on sale on one of their sale days. If that was the case, it might have been like $1 or $2 or something like that. So really not that much into that. I know that for sure. And this one sold on Poshmark for $18. Banana Republic isn't something that I normally pick up. That's not a brand that I typically pick up unless it's something special. That just looked like a really nice shirt. And like I said, I got it a while ago, so I don't know if at the time I thought Banana Republic would do better than it does. I'm not sure why I got that. I know typically, you know, I wouldn't just pick up everything Banana Republic. I think that there's some things, you know, that will sell and some things that could do okay. But just so you know, don't think that Banana Republic is some great bolo brand, because I don't feel like it necessarily is. Okay. Next, we'll look at this little Starbucks stainless steel tumbler travel mug. Nothing special, just a stainless steel Starbucks travel mug. And this I actually found at the bins, which is the Goodwill outlet where you pay for everything by the pound. So it's not priced individually. You dig through these big blue bins, and everything that you get, you just pay for by the pound. My Goodwill outlet near me charges $1.59 per pound. So this was less than a pound. This cost me like just over, a little over $1, and it sold on eBay for $14.97. So not too bad. I mean, nothing, again, nothing crazy. 15 bucks isn't anything, you know, all that exciting, but to have only paid a little over $1 for it and then to sell it for 15, that's still, to me, a good flip. And this honestly didn't take that long to sell either. I feel like I've only had this listed for 2 or 3 weeks maybe. All right, next we'll look at this little ornament, just a little Christmas ornament. Nothing special, again. It has the Serenity Prayer on it. Now, and it's by Hummelwork. Now this, I actually got at a garage sale. I bought like a whole bulk lot of some vintage Christmas ornaments. Some were like Hallmark, which Hallmark ornaments a lot of times can do well. Now, they're not always going to sell for crazy money or anything like that. There are certain ones that are worth more. So again, don't go crazy just buying all the Hallmark ornaments you see or anything like that. But I just bought a whole lot of these vintage ornaments from this person at the garage sale. And so I probably spent about $1 on this. This one's taken a while because I feel like this was either last summer. I think maybe it was last summer that I got this. And it finally sold for $7.48. So again, you know, nothing crazy, but it's still a few bucks profit. And this was fairly easy to, you know, take pictures of and list. It's still brand new in its little package. So, you know, nothing too difficult there. Okay. All right, next we'll look at these Nike sandals. So these are just some women's Nike memory foam thong sandals. The memory foam sandals typically tend to do pretty good. And these ones were in, the bottoms kind of look like they're a little worn. But if you look at like this side on the memory foam, this memory foam is great. It almost looks like they were never worn. Like if the bottoms didn't look the way they did, I would think these had never even been worn, because honestly, that memory foam looks great. That looks, I mean, it's amazing what kind of condition that is for them being used. Because usually that memory foam gets really worn down and pushed in. So, you know, anytime you can find them with a really good memory foam still intact, that's probably a good thing to pick up. So I got these at our local thrift store for $3. And they sold for $20. And these have probably only been listed for like a week. So these actually sold super, super fast for us as well, which is another good thing about those. Okay. All right, let's jump into a Mercari sale. So this men's fossil belt, just a nice leather fossil men's belt. This sold on Mercari for $19, and we only paid $1 for this at our local thrift store. Our local thrift store, like my favorite local thrift store, that's, you know, a local one. It's not like, you know, one of the chain ones, not Goodwill, it's not whatever. It's like a church-run thrift store. You guys have heard me talk about this thrift store tons of times before because it's like my favorite place to go, and I get lots of great deals there. For the most part, you know, their belts used to always be $1 a piece. They've recently actually increased their prices, which kind of sucks. But now their belts are $2 a piece, but this one was still when they were $1. So yeah, I only got this for $1, and it sold for $19 on Poshmark. So, you know, again, I'll usually pick up pretty much any belts that I find there. Typically, because even now at $2 a piece, you know, most of these kind of belts like Fossil and some other brands, you know, that you've probably heard me talk about before. I can't think of anything specific off the top of my head, but like Fossil and other, you know, good name brand belts will sell probably usually at least a $20 to $25 mark. So if I'm paying $1 or now $2, I mean, that's still a really good profit. Now sometimes they'll individually mark certain belts, and I don't know why they do that. This thrift store for the most part has set prices on everything. So like all belts are $2, all hats are $2, which also used to only be $1. And all shirts are like $3, jeans are $5 now. They used to be $4. So they have set prices instead of like pricing each item individually, except once in a while there are certain like things that they will price individually. And I really honestly don't understand how they determine what they price individually, because sometimes it just doesn't make any sense, to be honest. It just really doesn't. They'll just pick something that I feel like, you know, I could find something better, like a better brand that's at their normal set pricing for that kind of item. versus the item that they wanted to individually mark up. And it's very strange. I don't know why they do the pricing the way they do, but for the most part, I'm happy with their pricing structure because I like the fact that for the most part, all this type of item is this, all this type of item is this, and they're set prices in that way instead of, well, this is, Ralph Lauren and we have to mark it up to like $15, like a certain place, like Goodwill might want to do. I think you guys are probably very familiar with how Goodwill marks things up like that they happen to think are good brands. And I mean, once in a while, this thrift store will do that as well, but for the most part, they don't. For the most part, everything's just one set price. All right, let's see. What do we have next? Let's look at another Fossil item. This is a Fossil wallet, just a woman's wallet, and it's Fossil. I'm sure you guys have heard of Fossil. They have, you can find all kinds of good stuff with Fossil. Purses, wallets, belts, yeah, all those kind of like accessories. Fossil is a very good brand for those kind of things. And watches as well. Obviously, I think most people know Fossil because of the watches. I think that was maybe where they started. I don't know that for sure, but I mean, I think that's, what I originally heard of Fossil from was like their watches. But they also have a lot of other accessories like wallets and purses and belts. And I don't know what else they might have. But this little Fossil wallet, I got at that same thrift store. It only cost me $1 and it sold for $15. All right, let's go ahead and look at this other wallet that sold. This is a woman's wallet as well. This is a Harley Davidson wallet. Now this we actually found at a flea market, which is not somewhere we typically source. We do like to go to the flea market sometimes just to look, personally for ourselves. And, if we can find anything that's cheap enough that we think we could resell, we might pick it up. Well, that was the case with this. We got this at the flea market for only $2, and I knew for sure that we could flip that and make something on that. Obviously, I'm sure most of you know that Harley Davidson is another brand that has a really good following, and lots of people will buy pretty much anything Harley. So this sold for $29.38. Oh, and I'm sorry. I just looked at my notes here and see that we actually paid $4 for that. So not 2, but 4. Even still, I knew, paying 4 for that it would still make a profit. And again, it did. It sold for almost $30. So even 4 into 30 is still a really good profit. Sometimes I catch myself, you guys, when I mess up. Not always, but sometimes. All right. Next, we'll look at this little, what is this? An Ultra Nourishing Cleansing Treatment by Wen Chasdeen. This is a very expensive health and beauty brand, and it's brand new. Never been opened. It's still sealed. It still has like a plastic seal around it. I actually found a whole bunch of Wen by Chasdeen. I'm going to get it right. Wen by Chasdeen. A whole bunch of like health and beauty items by this brand at a garage sale. And so I, offered her a certain amount. I don't even remember what the total amount was that I paid for everything. But I offered her a certain amount to buy everything. And she took it. So the breakdown on this probably ended up being around $1.50 or so for this little one. This is only like 4 ounces, so it's not any huge thing or anything like that. And this ended up selling for $9.50. Now, that's not really all that great when you think about it. I mean, it's still a profit, but we also had gotten some other items. There was a couple like bigger bottles of, I don't remember if it was a nourishing treatment as well, or if it was something different, like a conditioner or something like that. And we sold those a while ago for a lot more. Like, I think they were, I don't know if they were like 20 a piece that we sold them for. I can't remember now. But the point being is that this was a good thing to make like a bulk buy on, because we made our money back on the entire buy, I think, within selling like 1 or 2 of those first items. So at this point, really, this is pure profit, in all honesty, because we had already made our money back from the bulk buy. So even though it's only $9.50, again, that's all profit since we already made our money back. So I can't really complain there. All right. Let's look at another Poshmark sale. This little guy here sold on Poshmark. It's a little cookie jar snowman, super cute. And it's it's by Hallmark. So this was a Hallmark item. And I actually got this for free, believe it or not. This woman had reached out to me, I believe, on Facebook, telling me that she just wanted to get rid of some stuff. And so she was going to leave a box of stuff out on the curb, gave me her address, told me if I wanted to come pick it up, I could come pick it up. And if not, then she would post it on, like, you know, a bigger site for somebody else to come pick up later. So I did go and pick it up, and this was one of the things that was in the box. And this sold on Poshmark for $14. So, you know, again, is $14 anything crazy? No. However, I mean, I got this for free. So that's, you know, complete pure profit after Poshmark fees, which I think is like $11. So again, I understand $11 isn't a ton of money, but that's $11 just in my pocket with minimal effort. Other than going and picking up the box full of stuff, which obviously I got more than just this in that box, and then taking a picture of this was pretty easy. Now, the hardest thing about this will probably be packing it, because obviously it's breakable, so I'll have to pack it really well to make sure it does not break. But I still feel like it's worth it for a free item to have free money in my pocket. Okay. Trying to see what else we have here. Let's go ahead and look at our last Poshmark sale. Our last Poshmark sale was this Beachbody set. Beachbody, Turbo Fire, Intense Cardio Conditioning. It's like an entire set that comes with like a booklet. Comes with a whole set of DVDs. So this is an exercise program, basically. I'm sure you guys have probably heard of like Beachbody and things like that. Now, you cannot sell Beachbody on eBay. You will get a Vero. You will get in trouble for trying to sell Beachbody on eBay. I understand that a lot of people do sell stuff, Beachbody stuff, on eBay. I have sold Beachbody stuff on eBay anymore. I no longer list Beachbody items on eBay. I have sold things before in the past. I've done well with them. I didn't get in trouble. I never had an issue. But I decided it wasn't worth it to risk eventually getting in trouble, and I didn't want to stop buying this stuff. Because to be honest, this stuff can do really well and sell for a really good, decent amount of money. So I don't want to just not pick it up, but I don't want to risk my account on eBay. That's too important, especially being a full-time reseller. It's too important to risk, you know, having problems with my account, losing my account, etc. Yeah, I don't want that to happen because this is, you know, my job and my income. So I'll still pick up Beachbody items, and I'll try to sell them on like Poshmark or Mercari. And so I listed this on both of those platforms, and it sold on Poshmark for $36. And we had only paid $3 for this at our local thrift store. So that's really good. Again, that's why I will still pick up Beachbody stuff, because I know I can sell it on a different platform that's not going to give me an issue for selling it. I just won't put it on eBay. But obviously $3 into $36 is a really, really good profit. So again, that's why I'm not going to just stop picking it up, because I feel like it's absolutely worth picking up. All right. Next we have this vintage. The tag's a little ripped, so I'm going to try and show you guys the tag, but it's like ripped on the one side. It's a young Pendleton. So this is like a vintage Pendleton wool coat. It's a woman's long, like trench coat type thing. Now this, I don't remember how much we bought this for. I know we got this at a thrift store. Not our normal one, but one that's associated actually with it. And I think that it was maybe $3 or $4. To be honest, I cannot remember how much it was. They were having like a sale on their winter coats at the time, and I feel like it was $3 or $4. I just don't remember for 100% sure. However, this sold on eBay for $39.97 over the weekend. So again, that's a really good flip. Pendleton's a good brand to look out for. I think especially if you can find like the vintage Pendleton and 100% wool Pendleton coats and sweaters, things like that, tend to do well. Okay. Then we have this sealed puzzle. It's a 3D puzzle, and it's like a Tiffany lamp. And like I said, this is sealed, so it's not anything I had to worry about. Oh, how many, are all the pieces there, so on and so forth. I would never pick up a used puzzle because I do not want to count the pieces. I will only buy puzzles if they are sealed and new, and if I look them up and see that they're worth picking up. So like I said, this was it's a Tiffany lamp, and it's a 3D puzzle. So I got this at a garage sale either last year or the year before. I don't remember, but it was $2 at the garage sale, and this sold for $34.98 over the weekend. So again, a really, really nice flip. $2 into pretty much $35. All right, next. We only have 2 more items to go, guys. And next are these kids North Face boots. I've talked before about how I don't buy a lot of kids shoes or a lot of kids boots, but I will if it's certain brands that I know are going to do well. Obviously, the North Face is a great brand, and so I knew even though these were kids boots that these should do really well, and they did. I got these at a church sale, like a church thrift sale over the summer for only $2, and they sold this weekend on eBay for $45. So again, really, really good flip there. I'll take 2 into 45 all the time, and especially for kids shoes, because that is not something that normally happens. Kids shoes usually do not sell, take forever to sell, or definitely don't sell for a lot of money. But if you ever see kids North Face boots, pick them up because you'll make some pretty good money off of them. All right, last item. This we only paid $3 for at the thrift store, which is absolutely crazy and insane. This is a Guitar Hero wireless guitar. for the Xbox 360. These typically do very well. And honestly, I could not completely test this, and I did list it that way. I explained that I did at least test it with batteries in it to make sure it powered on and everything, but I do not have a way to test this. I do not have the system. I do not have a game. Therefore, I could not completely test this, but I made sure to explain that in the description and everything like that, and this still sold for $55. So, in all honesty, again, very good flip to pay only $3 for this at the thrift store. I usually never find stuff like this at the thrift store. It's very hard for me to ever find video game stuff. Lots of people look for video game stuff. It's a very competitive area to get into because so many people are looking for the video game stuff that a lot of times by the time I ever get anywhere, I never find it because it's already gone. Either that or it's priced up, so on and so forth. You know, I usually just don't have this kind of luck. But I got lucky this day because I found 2 other Guitar Hero guitars as well for only $3 a piece also, which is crazy. And actually a Rock Band drum set. So that was one of the craziest finds that I've ever found at a thrift store, in all honesty, because again, I never find that kind of stuff, and to find all of that at once blew my mind. But this is the first thing of those items to sell. It really didn't take that long to sell, probably a week or 2. And so again, I mean, just if you ever do this, make sure that you list in your description and things like that if you're not able to test it. That way at least people know. That's not always a deal breaker. I think some people don't mind. Number one, I mean, chances are it probably will work. I don't have any reason to believe that it won't. It's in very good shape. I just personally don't have any way to test it. So, you know, you might have to knock your price down a few dollars from what it would sell for if you did test it. But with me being able to buy this for only $3, I really didn't mind, you know, having to get like 55 instead of, I don't know, 60, 70, something like that seemed like mostly what these were selling for tested. So it's really not that big of a difference. So yeah, I don't mind doing that. And, you know, I don't know if some people just know how to make these things work, like they know how to work on them, fix them. They just need them for parts maybe. I am not 100% sure, but I do know that I knew ahead of time that it's not that big of a deal to list them untested. Try to test them the best you can, which is what I did. Like I said, I did put batteries in because it's a wireless, so it runs on batteries. I did put batteries in it and at least was able to test and make sure, you know, it powered on and things like that. And it did. No problems there. So hopefully this person will get this and they'll be happy with it. But yeah, I mean, again, anytime I could find things like this, especially for that cheap, I would definitely pick them up. I don't know that I'm ever going to find anything like this again. I'm sure probably at some point I will. You know, that can't be like a once in a lifetime kind of thing. But sometimes it feels that way just because it is difficult. All right, guys. Well, that's all of our orders that sold over the weekend and that I've got to pack up and ship out today. So I have to go so I can get working on that and get working on doing some picture taking today, doing some listing, all the things that are part of the daily life and the life of a full-time reseller. All right, guys, hopefully you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. That helps my channel out a lot. Subscribe if you'd like to keep seeing more videos like this. Leave any comments below if there's anything you want to know, anything that you want to say. And yeah, I guess that's it. Until next time, keep on hunting for that hidden treasure.